YouTube family? How you guys doing? I'm David Wynn, better known on YouTube as the Free Car Guy. I've been trying to record an update. I like to at least post a video at least once or twice a month, but in the state of New Jersey, it's been raining almost every day, and I'm the kind of guy, I don't like to drive my Corvette in the rain. I just don't. So what I decided to do was to give you guys a comparison of my 2021 C8 Z51 Coupe to my 2023 C8 Z51 hardtop convertible. Even though the vehicles are similar, I found a totally different experience. What I'm also going to do, I will let you know now, I have a friend of mine who just took receipt of a 2023 C8 Z06, and he has it fully loaded. And what I want to do with his vehicle is feature his vehicle, show you his vehicle, and then do another video, and I put both vehicles side by side and do a comparison. Now I know everyone knows that there's a difference between the two vehicles, but we want to talk about the experience in owning a Z51 and the experience in owning a Z06. All right, so let's look at the Z51, my vehicle, the hardtop convertible. I had to write some things down so I'd maintain a focus, what have you. First, I want to talk about the importance of doing the proper break-in. You've been reading a lot of people having problems with the transmission with the C8 on the Z51 and also the Z06, more so the Z06. And from what I'm understanding is that a lot of people are saying they're doing the right thing as far as breaking the vehicle in, but they're not. And I say this because I was very conscientious with regards to breaking in my 2021, and I put almost 8,000 miles on that vehicle within a year, and I had no problems with it. So I decided to do the same thing with my 2023. But I did something a little different with my 23 than I did with my 21. A lot of people having a problem or complaining about the active fuel management. And I don't know why they put it on the Corvette, but I think they did so with regards to the fuel economy of the vehicles, what have you. And I see now they're going to put it on they're going to put an active fuel management on the, I believe it's the ZR1. Yes, the ZR1. They're talking about putting it on that. Well, I found a way to go around that. When I was at the Ron Fellow Corvette Driving School in Las Vegas, they told us that if you drive the vehicle in manual, the active fuel management system does not come on. Now, the reason why I have a problem with it, I'm not an engineer, I'm not an expert, but I cannot imagine how you're going to break a vehicle in on 4 cylinders when you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to drive it on 6. I believe it's going to cause some type of uneven wear. And that's almost what they told us there in Las Vegas. They didn't say it that what would happen, but they said you don't want to be driving a vehicle at high speed like on a racetrack and then have the vehicle downshift into 4 cylinders. So as long as you're driving your vehicle in a manual position, and that's what I decided to do with my 2023. Now, my first 500 miles, I did not put it in manual. I kept it in the automatic, and for most of the time driving around town, it drove with four cylinders. But once it got 500 miles, I went ahead and set my mode. I drive it in my mode, and what I like about my mode, I didn't do it the first time, but I did it with this vehicle. I basically set my mode up to almost where it's in the sport mode, all right? And what I do every time I turn my vehicle on, if you set it in my mode and you turn your vehicle off, every time I turn my vehicle on, it comes on in the my mode setting, not the touring setting. I did the same thing with my Z button. I configured my Z button so when I do want to hit it, I'm going to have more of a track configuration than anything. So you can do that if you don't want to have your vehicle go from I believe it's 4, it's not 8, yeah, it's 4, from 4 cylinders to 8 cylinder, you know. Had no problems. I've had no problems whatsoever with my vehicle, except for one time I did get a notice that my transmission and my rear axle was not communicating. And I took it in, they looked at it, and basically I think they reset it from the factory, and that notice never came on again. I have no problems with it. All right? Number 2, let's talk about the pros and cons of owning a hardtop, a C8 hardtop convertible in the coupe. Now, when I had my coupe, I did drive it with the top off a couple of times, but I found the buffering of the wind to be somewhat annoying, and that's why I very rarely drove. And I'm on my 7th Corvette, and my C6 and C7 had the removable top, and I found the same thing with the C6 and C7 with the C8, especially if you go over 45 miles an hour, you get a lot of air in the back. So I hardly drove with the top off. Now with my hardtop, my C8 hardtop convertible, I found that you don't get as much noise. You don't, especially when you roll your windows up. And I don't even roll my windows up, but if I have my lady friend with me, I'll roll them up. But when I'm by myself, I can have my windows down, have my music on, and I can even talk. One time I talked on my phone, and I asked the person, "Can you hear me good? Is it clear?" They said, "Yeah, I hear you great, no problem." So I do think that the hardtop convertible, the air is configured a little bit different than that in the coupe, and you don't have to worry about all that noise inside the vehicle. And I also found out that back window, if you bring it all the way up with the top back, that helps also. I don't know why it comes halfway down and not all the way down. So I don't know what the difference would be if it was all the way down versus halfway down versus all the way up. But sometimes I bring it all the way up. It says here also, I added, you can hear the engine. With the hardtop convertible versus the coupe, I know a lot of people had a problem. I know I did, and I got a aftermarket exhaust system on my 2021. But I'm finding with my hardtop convertible, I don't think it's really needed. I can hear the pops, the gurgles, and what have you, even with the top up. With the top up, for some reason, I can hear the exhaust a lot better than I did with the coupe. And I'm not an engineer, but I believe what it is that with the coupe, it has a little more acoustics in it over the engine, so you can hear instead of hearing the ticking and hearing that engine running, you hear more of the exhaust than you do the engine. And I believe that's why you can hear your exhaust a little better with the hardtop convertible. Now, I also know that a lot of people didn't want to use the hardtop convertible because you cannot see the engine. But what I did, I put a clear engine cover over the stock part of that you can remove that, and I put a clear engine cover over there, and I put also a engine dress-up kit in there also. So if I bring my hardtop convertible in the maintenance mode, I can look in there and see my engine. And that's mainly for like cars and coffees and car shows. I thought at one time that plastic would probably cause a problem because it's not plastic, some type of thermoplastic. But I found out that it has been tempered to over 500 degrees. If your engine gets to 400 degrees, you're not going to be driving anyway. It'll probably cut off on you. So I don't think that's a problem there. And plus, it gives it a little different appearance than just putting the top up and looking at that piece of black aluminum. So you can still see your engine with the hardtop convertible. Now the traditional convertible over the target top, to me, I find it is easy to access, to get your top back, to get it back up, what have you. One of the problems I had with the Targa is that when I wanted to put the top back, I had to stop the car, bring it out, put it back, and it wasn't a problem. It just took some time. But the problem I found that when you wanted to put it back on, like in an emergency, if it started raining, what have you, it was a bit much. With the hardtop convertible, push that button, within 16 seconds the top is either back, or 16 seconds the top is even forward. And I heard a young guy make a comment about he's not an old man. Well, I don't think it has anything to do about age, all right? Also, I honestly think that the hardtop convertible, it just looks better to me. It looks better. It looks a little more exotic than that of the coupe. Now, I'm not saying the coupe, the lines on the coupe doesn't look nice, but to me, I think that hardtop convertible gives the C8 a little more design to it and what have you. I just like the way it looked. That's one reason why I purchased it. I had no idea about the wind and what have you. When I saw the back of that car, and I said, hey, I got to get this. I got to get it, the hardtop convertible. I had convertibles before. I had a 2020 Mercedes SL 450. I had also a 2020 Jaguar F-Type, and they were, the Mercedes was a hardtop convertible, but that thing took like 20, 30 seconds going back. Now my Jaguar took about 18 seconds going back, but that was a soft top. And you know how it is with the soft top convertible, the noise, what have you, even with the top up. I don't have that with the C8. The C8, to me, probably has the best hardtop convertible in the industry, because even when I had on my Mercedes was not as acoustic as it is with the C8. A few more things here. Let's talk about the mods. Now, my 2021 was a 3LT coupe. And when I looked at the difference between the 3LT and the 2LT, I think the 2LT had the same tech as the 3LT. I think the 3LT had just a little bit more, I guess, touchy-feely stuff. With the lines on your head, what you call it, I forget it, your headliner, yes, your headliner, all that stuff. And they said that the leather on the inside was better, what have you. I mean, how many times I'm going to touch it? I'm not touching my car, And I think when you look at the 2LT, for me, other than that Alcantara, I call it fake suede. If you just have the leather for leather, they look the same to me. And I didn't like that suede anyway. And my 3LT had it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it on the steering wheel, so I changed my steering wheel to a carbon fiber with leather, not the suede, on my 1LT. And I did the same thing on my 2LT. I like carbon fiber. And what I did, I found a company that did my steering wheel, and also I got overlays. So when you look on the inside of my 2023 Z57, my interior looks the same as the interior of the 2023 Z06 with the carbon fiber edition. I had the same carbon fiber. Now what I did not do, I did not put the carbon fiber around the bottom. I thought that was somewhat excessive, and I did want a little I guess you call it silver or aluminum accent in the car, because you had some in other areas of the cars. I didn't want the whole thing blacked out. That's just my taste. Some people black the whole thing out, and that's what you want to do, hey, fine and dandy. But I think the 2LT is just about the same as the 3LT, if you don't worry about touching the leather and what have you. Also, what I did, on my 2023, I did do the aftermarket arrow around the car, and on my 2021, I did the one VM, and that is just a light touch on the rocker panel and also the front spoiler. It looked okay, but I saw a gentleman on YouTube. I think he's front seat driver. He has a yellow C8 Z51 hardtop convertible, and I liked how his looked. Now mine is the what do you call it? I'm going to say Sebring orange. My 2021 was Sebring orange, but my 2023 is the new orange. You got to forgive me. I forget the actual name they call it. But I think with those colors, with the black, the yellow, the white, the gray, the orange, I think that black in the 5 VM, it accentuates it a little more than I did with the 1 VM. So I did put the 1 VM front spoiler and rocker panel extensions on my car. And that's that. And I had the other mods I did to my car. I did the same thing on the 21. I did change my my brake pads, and I do that on all my vehicles. I changed it. Also, I have a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I did it on my Mercedes. I did it on my Jack. I always take those stock brake pads off, and I put the carbon ceramic brake pads on there. Number one, I feel they stop a little better, and you don't get all that dust. I'm gonna tell you something. That Brembo brake pad dust is horrific. I don't know why they use that. They say it's good for racing, but then again, you look at the ceramic brake pads that they put on the Z06, you don't get all that brake pad dust on it. So I changed all of my cars, and I put the carbon ceramic brake pads, and I used the street racing edition also. They squeak a little bit. They squeak a little bit every now and then, but once they get nice and hot, you get to rolling, you get to go. And I don't ever have to wipe the brake pad dust off my wheels. And I have black wheels, and you can see it a lot on the black wheels versus the other wheels. All right. And I did also change my my air filters. I do that also on all my vehicles. I take the stock air filters off, and I always use I used to use the K&N, but now I'm using the what do they call it, the blue air filter. You gotta excuse me, guys. Sometimes I'm not as sharp as I should be. That's a little personal thing, but I changed that also, and I find that those air filters give your exhaust a different tone. I'm not saying I do it to get horsepower. I do it to make the car sound louder, but I think the vehicle runs a little better with the high performance air filters. And my research showed me what happened is that with the stock air filters, they don't want anything to come in and damage the engine, so they overdo it. They overdo it. So a stock air filter will get you maybe 60% of the air, and then you put your high performance air filter in there, is giving you maybe 80 to 90% of the air in there. And you all know the more air, the better air you put in your car, the more cleaner it will burn also. And that's basically it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut this out. If you got any comments, go ahead and list your comments. And like everybody know, I will get back with you. And if you have a question, I'll answer your question. If I don't know, I do some research and find out what it is. But as for me, the 2023 C8 Z51 hardtop convertible is my choice over the coupe. I know it costs a little more. I think it's about almost $8,000 more. But like I said before, I think it looks a little better than the coupe. I like the design, especially around the back, and I think it's a little more convenient. All right, and also there's that sound effect also. All right. Now, everybody asks me when I'm going to get to replace this vehicle. I'm in a group right now, Cars and Coffee, and we got about 10 of us own Corvettes. And people are starting to get the C8. I was the first person to get a C8 in our group. I had a 2021. I got rid of it. I sold it. Then I came back with my 2023. I took a lot of hits. Everybody laughing at me, what have you. But I'm a Corvette guy. I've been driving Corvettes since 1968. I've drove other vehicles also. You know, I normally keep a vehicle 4 to 5 years, and I go get a new one. But what I decided to do, I'm not going to get a Z06. I'm not going to get the E-Ray. I'm not. I'm waiting for that ZR1. I think the ZR1, from what I'm understanding, is going to be the ultimate Corvette. I don't know about the Zora. I don't know if I can deal with an all-electric vehicle, if they're going to do all-electric. I don't know. But I drove all-electric vehicles, and even though the automatics are taking over, but it's just something about the sound of the engine. There's something about when you start the vehicle up. There's something about with the manual shifts that keep you engaged in driving the vehicles. And it's probably going to be an awesome vehicle, but I think my next vehicle will be the ZR1. And I believe that's going to be coming out in 2025 or 2026. I probably won't get the first year. I never get the first year of a model year. I always wait maybe 2 to 3 years, because like I said before, a lot of people don't believe it. I believe it's not just General Motors, it's not just Chevrolet. I believe a lot of manufacturers use the customer to do their research and development. They do as much as they can, but when they put the vehicle out there, and no vehicle is perfect. No vehicle is perfect. But I do believe with a new model year, they need a couple of years to make sure to get all the kinks out. And I don't want to be a person with a vehicle that's going to be doing that stuff. So I'm not in a rush. I already have a Corvette. I probably keep my 2023 and add the Zorro. I'm not the Zorro. Excuse me. The ZR1. Maybe another 2 or 3 years to my small collection. But that's it. And I hope it didn't take too long. I don't like to do long videos, but I appreciate you visiting my channel. I appreciate also you guys supporting me. I didn't get in this to try to be famous, but my channel is starting to grow. People are subscribing. I hope that you subscribe. I hope you like also. I see now a lot of my videos, when I pull up and watch other videos, I see my videos are coming up. So I guess with the amorism, whatever they're doing to move the I don't forget what you call it, when they find out who's watching you, the time and all that stuff, and brings my videos up, and that is starting to happen. So I do appreciate you guys. I'm not an expert, but I do believe that sharing information. I mean, the information I have is nothing that I discovered myself. I learned what I have based watching you guys on your channel, hearing what people are saying about this, with that, and seeing how a vehicle look. I said, let me try that also. All right, guys. So the next time you see me on my channel, I'm going to be doing a 2023 Z06 C8 Z06, and I do a little comparison between that vehicle and my vehicle. So you guys take care, have a blessed day, and thanks for visiting my channel. Oh yeah, I didn't say it. You do know like I know, if you're driving a Corvette, you're doing better than the average person. Take care.